We got our grill preheating, and today I'm going to introduce you to a very, very, very special fish. In fact, it's so special, it's a unicorn. We got two not our dogs here today. These are our editors, Lexi and Shane, and the big boss, Buddy, keeping everybody on track. But this is who our guest of honor is. This is called a kala. Kala is the Hawaiian word for this fish, but it actually is a unicorn fish. There's several things that make this fish really special. I mean, first of all, it really does have this like unicorn horn. And the skin, it's like sandpaper. When I feel it, it's very rough, it's very leathery. In the old days, the Hawaiians would actually use this skin to make drums. And so one of my friends, hey buddy, one of my friends back in the day would always ask me to shoot kala so that her family could make drums. But the rule was I could only shoot them in the head because you can't have a hole in your drum. So this obviously wouldn't be a good one. The skin is very important because that's gonna be our tin foil. That's what's so cool about this is it comes in its own package. Another thing to keep in mind about the kala is that there's these knives right by the tail. It is a surgeon fish of sorts, and they can just slice you open. When I spear a kala, I always grab it by the head, and then once I brain it, when I say brain it, I mean I stick my knife in its brain. And then the next thing I do is I cut off the knives. And this is something I always do in the water. I saved these knives just so I could show you. Normally that's like my number one rule when you shoot a kala. Cut your knives off before you put it in the cooler because it could hurt somebody. This is like an old-timers fish. This is such a local fish here in Hawaii, but one thing I've noticed is in these recent days, in these modern days, as time went on, I feel like, starting with people from my generation and younger, kind of started snobbing fish like kala. They, the seaweed eaters. And it's true, they eat very strong types of limu, of seaweed, and therefore they're fishy fish. Like, this is what we grew up on. This is what all of the neighborhood kids and I would wait for and hope for when my dad would come back from fishing or diving, because we knew that we could cook it simply by putting it on a grill, and it was just our favorite fish to eat. And when I travel, when I go to other places, and when I go to Tahiti or Palau or New Caledonia, this is the prized fish. In Tahiti, they call this ume. They still cherish and worship this fish for the gold that it is. And I think it's important that we do the same. So that's why we're doing kala today. And the girl is calling just in time. So this is a very simple recipe so far. You make sure your knives are cut off. Oh, your fish is clean. I took the guts out in the water. And you put it on the grill. If it's an open fire, you want kind of like a medium heat, medium to low heat, because you don't want to burn the skin, you don't want to break the skin. Back in the old days on Maui, like, I don't know why, but we wouldn't even gut that fish. If it's not too hot of a fire, it won't burst the guts and ruin the fish. And it was almost like a test. And then when everyone eats it, it's like, oh, be careful with your chopsticks not to bust the gut sack. So anyway, it's cooking. And now I can tell you about the dive. A lot of times when I'm diving places that have structure, that will have caves and sand pockets, that's when I'll see kala with a variety of other fish, with pualu or palani or omilus or uhus, and those signs of a healthy ecosystem. I usually try and lay in the shadows or in a cave and bring them into me. So on this drop, there's no structure, there's no sand pockets, there's nothing but flat reef, and that is so often where you're going to find your school of kala. And I can see the kala off in a distance and really have to look on the edge of my visibility to see them, but just like a herd of cows, they're just grazing, and what they're doing is they're eating the limu off the flat reef, and it's a lot harder to hunt them that way because there's no place for me to hide. And I have to become as flat as the reef itself. I need to lay my fins down. I need to tuck my head in. I just need to really make myself a part of this reef. And as I do, that's when I see the school of kala starting to come in to check me out. I fluff a little sand. Sure enough, this one pulls away from the rest of the school. And that's when I know it's my opportunity to take the shot. I truthfully just have such a respect and appreciation for these animals, and I know that I'm taking a life. So once I'm at the surface, I don't want to make any animal suffer, longer than it has to take to just put them out. So I cover their eyes, it calms the fish down, and that's when I'll slip my knife into its brain and just finish it. Always here. So this is Kaya, and she's actually our editor's dog. And so she's showing up for work. Tazzy, however, he looks guilty already. Tazzy lives like half a mile away. He has a very good home, but he still shows up every single day to hang out and is kind of intimidated by Kaya's presence. Now there's two, not our dogs. How's Buddy doing?
Awesome.
Being very vocal. Thanks for holding him. Say thank you, Uncle. You wanna go pick some veggies with Mommy? Yeah? We got our fish on the grill. We gotta go get something from the garden. Okay? Please, yeah? Can you hold up? You got some. Good job. It's one of his favorite toys, isn't it? You wanna check the fish, buddy? I think it's been, what, 15 minutes? 10?
10.
So probably gotta go a little longer. But just take a peek. It's cooking. I'm gonna let it keep going on that side. Let's give it 15, 20 minutes on each side. You can wash some veggies in the meantime. Well, you're just putting it in your mouth anyway.
Double fisting?
Most of us like to wash our veggies before we eat them, buddy. Here, wanna trade? You can take this one. I'll wash this for you. There you go. Homegrown and organic and good for your teething needs, aren't they? What's up, Kaya? Do you like collard greens? There you go. There you go, girl. Kaya loves vegetables. I got you. I'm not trying to be nature girl. I just forgot my spatula inside. But in the meantime. Okay, it has definitely been 20 minutes on one side. So we're gonna go flip the fish. Okay. I think it's ready. On that side. I think it was ready for a flip. We'll see. See, it's always a guessing game with kala because you want it to be cooked all the way. You don't want it to dry out. But we're gonna let it keep going, and I think it'll be perfect. Yeah, buddy. So kala is one of the main fish that you cook this way, where you just don't scale it, don't skin it, just gut it, throw it on the grill, and let it cook within its own skin. The way that we did this growing up, we'd always cook it over an open fire, and we would all sit around the fire, and when you flipped it, that meant one side was ready to eat. And so everyone would sit around, have their own pair of chopsticks, and you just pick. Everyone picks from around the fire. By the time you're done eating that side, the other side's usually ready to flip. This was a fish where back in the day, it never hit the table because it was eaten on the grill. Fire is hot. And garlic. Whoa. Keep it simple. Salt, coconut oil, garlic and greens. Even though there's not a lot of ingredients besides fish and fire, we do always make a sauce for our kala. And the local style that I grew up with was always shoyu, that's soy sauce. So shoyu, chili pepper, and sometimes that's all. Sometimes shoyu, chili pepper, lemon. In Tahiti, they're very influenced by the French, and so I learned a different way to do it is butter and garlic. And I'm gonna do butter, garlic, and lemon, and we're gonna treat this. It's kind of like making it like a lobster, you know. And kala tastes strangely a lot like lobster. I think this burner is too big for the pot. Sometimes when the kala's done, people just take a stick of butter. I saw this in Tahiti, and they just take the cold stick and rub it on the hot fish until it just melts, and then put garlic salt on it. But I'm gonna take the time to actually brown some garlic, melt some butter. I am going to add garlic salt. And then I'm gonna finish this with fresh lemon juice. So treating it like how you would, you know, crab legs. I'm just gonna squeeze it right into that garlic butter sauce. And do you actually wanna try a lemon? How do you like it, buddy? Is it good? Pretty generous on that salt. So our sauce is ready. Our fish will soon be ready. I'm just gonna clear this table, set this table, and that's gonna be dinner. Let's check this fish. Looks so dry, right? See that? You see the juice that came out when I just grabbed it? Look at that. That is not a dry fish. Oh, I think it's ready. I hope it's ready. Should I try it? It's just so hard to know for sure. Oh, should it go longer? It's hard to say. This was cooked on a Traeger, and so it just looks, you know, beautiful and not charred. If it was cooked on an open fire, you would see a lot more char, probably a lot more bubbling of the skin. So keep that in mind if you're doing it on an open fire. But I'm gonna say that I think this might be ready. But I take this chopstick and I just trace along these lines. Look at that, isn't that cool? Come on in, Lexi and Shane, come check this out. This is actually the first fish I prepared Lexi and Shane. The first time I cooked for Lexi and Shane, I should say. Okay, who's ready for the party trick? Then you just peel this off. Look at that. You just peel that off and it's just like, that's your tin foil. And now we're gonna sauce it up. Just sauce it up. See all those garlic bits? You know what would be nice too? I haven't done this before, but I have some chives growing over there. I'm just gonna be right back. Just a wee bit. Trim some chives over it for a garnish. And again, this is like poor man's lobster.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, baby.
Hey, say hi to Dad.
He's already got his chopsticks ready to eat.
You ready to eat, son?
He's ready.
Okay. And so, yeah, you always need, it's always good to have friends when you eat a kala. I feel like it's a sharing fish. But look at this. Just look at how beautifully cooked this is. I mean, it's just, oh my gosh. All right, dig in, Lexi.
Oh, hey, I got
Buddy, you ready?
Wow, thank you. Holy cow.
Yum. So good, right?
Oh my God.
Is that so good?
Best.
Can you see it steaming still?
Yeah, that's great. Try it. How is it?
I'm gonna put some extra love on it.
Extra sauce. Oh my goodness, it does taste like lobster.
It does, right? I hope that everyone knows I would never fake the It's like it's something I take very, very seriously. But this is so yummy. Here, Justin. I wish you could see his face. Isn't that so good?
Yeah, your sauce is really good.
A lot of times these days, I feel like, you know, in hunting or spearfishing, people get so obsessed with trophy fish, prize fish, but diversity is not just the key to sustainability. Like obviously if we're all targeting the same trophy fish, that's not quite sustainable, but diversity is the key to deliciousness. And this is delicious.
Like, yes, more please.
His little claws.
More please. Wow, buddy.
Your little teeth are coming in handy right now, huh?
Oh, he loves it.
Was that first fish?
Nope. No. His first fish was Kaili on the boat trip. We didn't film it. You want some cola? That's so good. Is that so?
Yum.
Yum, 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 yum.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, he's stoked.
And it's buddy approved. So we have some collard greens straight from the garden, some potatoes and kala from the ground, and the main star is the kala, which was just pretty much fish plus fire. And I think it's just important to show how really good ingredients straight from the land or straight from the ocean can just be cooked so simply and be so delicious. And so if you like this, please do subscribe and we'll see you back next week.